because we see the response to new items. So we do a lot of communication, especially as we round into fall holiday, around the new launches, exclusives like for that holiday season. And I think it's a strong selling point to say, you know, you might have been in last month, but we have so many new offerings that we can't wait to show you. And this has kind of been brought up in other turns of conversation, but we also have found that whether it's on Instagram or in the newsletter, having that newness messaging come from our team, whether it's me or Claire in our West Village store or Stacy, who's the GM of our Greenpoint store, say to the customers, like, this is new in and I love it. Like, having that human being behind it, and here's why I love it, not just like, here are some new things, buy them, but like, you know, here's what's top of my big night wish list, I think is a really powerful way to keep that newness feeling like a connection rather than just transactional.
No, I agree with that 100%, and also just to add to that, I do think that when people come into the store, I think the best way that you could do for your customer is to offer that personalization. It's so important, and when you do have that human connection in store, that's really what's going to elevate that experience than, you know, another store. I think at the end of the day, people want to be guided, and people want for you to like let them know what is the best, or what is, you know, what is, of course, asking them, being curious, asking them certain questions in terms of what they're looking for. Sometimes people don't even know what they're looking for. So at the end of the day, you know, one of the reasons why I love retail is you know, I love what makes somebody buy something. It's a lot of it psychology. Really having that curiosity really will help that interaction become more of a connection and more of a relationship than a transaction. At the end of the day, they also want to like not have to make another decision sometimes, you know, to turn off their brain for 2 seconds and you letting them know, ooh, you like that thing with the popcorn. Let me show you this popcorn candle to go with this popcorn. I mean, you know your store layout better than anybody, so the more you can guide them and say, ooh, I have the perfect thing for you, that's when they're going to start to trust you more and want to buy from you.
Great. I'm going to come shop at your store. I think all of those things are like so important and strong. We historically do a lot of events, particularly on the holidays or like throughout the year. Many years when we were in Abercrombie in Venice, it was like people really relied on us as a neighborhood resource for community. They wanted to, especially in the early days where it was blocks and everybody was behind a screen. It's like, can I meet the people? You know, we were a good destination, a design resource and destination for that type of thing. Obviously, COVID changed a lot of everything changed since then, but we still do put time and effort into events when we can. But we also offer, like specific to our niche, a gift wrapping service. And with that, every employee is trained to do it perfectly. Like, I'm very proud to say that they're better than me. Like, I want them to wrap my gifts. They are superior gift wrappers. And because of that, people come in from all over Los Angeles to have us wrap their gifts, regardless of the fact that they're buying anything from us or not. And we're offering a service that they need. And maybe they drop off 7, 10 around the holidays, 30 gifts. It's kind of lucrative on its own, but it makes us a resource that they need beyond just another store. So I think it's finding little specifics that you can offer as a business and a brand that meets the needs of your neighborhood and the retail landscape that you're in. You don't ever want to compete with what the person's doing next door, of course. You want to come up with your own unique perspective of what you specialize in and offer that.
Yeah. I cannot agree more. Honestly, like, I think the events thing is huge for us too. The cafe element is a massive draw. And so I think bringing in seasonal specials, we just succeeded finally in getting our tavern license so we can do wine, beer, cider. So that's going to be huge for holiday parties and, you know, pairing a sale with that, or pairing, like, you know, here's some, you know, grab and go gifts where we picked out a couple of things that go well together. You know, those are really successful things. Meet the maker things where, like, if we have, you know, there's someone locally, like I literally drive by her house on my way to work and I pick them up, you know, who sells peanuts, like seasoned peanuts, and she's come in and done a Meet the Maker. A local chocolate company, you know, like literally just people that make these things, and people, it adds a layer of connectivity to like, this is the product, but this is also the person behind the product, so you're supporting two small businesses in one.
And I feel like the underlying thing that we're all discussing here is like trust, like building that true connection where the consumer can really trust you, rely on you, whether it's to wrap gifts or to come and have a good time at a tavern. But another thing that I feel like can also be challenging for people is like when they're making that leap from either brick and mortar to online or vice versa, or launching in both, is that brand messaging and consistency. Like with language, with materials, like what are some ways that you guys kind of keep that consistent, like brand tone messaging online and in store?
Well, I think for any small business, and if it's coming from your heart and you're putting everything you have into it, that brand voice is going to be authentic. It's not going to be something that's fabricated. And I think just holding true to that. So when you get bigger, you need a brand deck. Like the minute you start letting it, other people touch it, it's like this is the parameters. And I learned this from having to do it. Is the urbanic look and feel and vibe and language and colors and fonts developed early on, and we stuck with that and evolved as we feel different ways, looks, you know, the change in what we feel design-wise. But the brand core has to stay the same. So I learned all about this. So you know, we've got, anytime you're working with a designer, you create your brand deck with an outline, a blurb, like the language. It's almost as if, and I know you do want to talk about AI, and I'm not putting that in there. But if you ever used AI, you have to literally have to tell it what you want it to do, including describing the tone or the visual or the